Good morning, everyone. Keith Johnson, CPA here with your Business Beat for May the 4th, 2021. So May the 4th be with you. Yes, it's one of my favorite movies. And just as an aside, it's now that I have the Disney Plus Hulu combination, I can watch any Star Wars or Marvel movie whenever I want. It's awesome. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about salt. You're probably wondering, hey, you like salt on your hamburgers. Actually, I haven't put salt on any food since at least added salt since probably the Ford administration. I'm not a big fan of salt. I figure we get enough salt in our diets on a daily basis, but that's not the kind of salt that I'm talking about. It's actually a very big issue right now, and it's called the state and local tax deduction. Now, salt, as it's called, is now a very, very big thing in Congress because of the infrastructure plan. And actually, salt, the ability to bring back salt or eliminate the deduction, is probably going to derail the program. And I'll explain. Now, the state and local tax deduction basically is a combination of your state income tax, your state sales tax, or your local property taxes or personal property taxes. Here in Florida, I'm in Jacksonville. We don't have a state income tax. Thank you, Mickey Mouse. And as a result, we we can't deduct any state income tax, but we can deduct a sales tax allowance. Basically, what that is the IRS has a schedule of how much sales tax you get based on your size of your household, your income, and the state that you live in. Thanks to the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, back in 2017, when the standard deduction was jacked up, doubled. The state and local income tax for the vast majority of us has subsided. It's really gone out the window because even with all the other deductions out there, the ability to itemize has gone away. It's basically you get the greater of either the standard deduction or itemized deduction. The itemized deductions are a combination of medical expense, salt, mortgage interest, and charitable contributions. So the the problem there is that when the standard deduction went up, starting with the 2018 tax year, that meant that a lot of expenses such as state and local tax, charitable contributions, and mortgage interest. Medical's always had a very high bar, but those went by the wayside for the vast majority of us. But in certain areas of the country and for certain people, the ability to get salt is actually very important. In higher taxation areas such as New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, things like that, they have very high state income tax rates. And normally you are allowed to deduct those your income taxes. In return, you have to report your income tax refunds from the state. So, if you do your state returns and you get a refund, then you have to report it the following year as income. Okay, makes sense. Not very, I don't stay up at night thinking about that. Well, anyway, with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act 2017, the ability to deduct your state and local taxes was capped at $10,000. Now, also, if you live in a high area, such as the aforementioned Northeast California and even certain areas of Florida, your property tax is going to be very high too. I mean, if you lived in, the Boca Raton, for instance, and you lived on the beach, your property taxes are probably going to be very high and over $10,000, even though Florida doesn't have a state income tax. Well, the thing is, the state and local income tax deduction has been capped at $10,000 since 2018. Now, in the deduction or in the discussion with Congress regarding this new infrastructure policy or this infrastructure bill, there are those that want to make sure that the rich pay their fair share, which I do agree with. I don't, I do want taxes lowered for everybody, but at the same time, people do need to pay taxes, and we help people avoid taxes as much as possible, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, I get some of these policies. And so, we got that side, and then we got the other side, which says, well, they're the legislatures, Congress from the Northeast and high income states or income tax states. It says, well, if you want our vote on the infrastructure, you've got to eliminate the SALT deduction. And, that makes sense too, because, I get where people want to deduct as much tax as possible because, yeah, even though you need to pay your taxes, we can't trust Congress to spend our tax dollars wisely. And that's a feeling I share with 330 million other Americans. I want to pay tax, just the right amount of tax to make our government work, but I don't want to see our tax dollars wasted for anything. So I see both sides of the argument there. So we're seeing a lot of back and forth right now in Congress over SALT, and should the SALT deduction be removed? So in other words, like if somebody has $20,000 of state income tax, paid in $20,000 of state income tax, had $15,000 of property tax. I'm just throwing numbers out here. Instead of paying or being able to deduct $35,000, right now they can only deduct 10. So the battle will rage on. So as far as tax planning, I mean, my clients generally, by and large, I think, I don't know, you might have one client this year that was limited by it. I did have one elderly client who spent $150,000 2 weeks before 2017 came out on an RV. A sweet couple, retired. They drive around the country in their RV 6 months of the year. And they had, I think the sales tax on their vehicle was $11,000. And I was like, sweet, you got it 2 weeks before before you would have been capped, because they also have a regular house. Normally this is like a new house. So it's, they're not an extravagant couple by any means. So I would say for the vast majority of us, we don't have to worry about SALT. But for those that do, I think it's a very important issue, and I do think it can derail the infrastructure bill, because I mean, we're looking at a 6-seat majority for the Democrats in the House, and we have essentially a tie in the Senate. So if you have one Democratic senator who wants the SALT, deduction cap lifted, and it's all or nothing, then there goes the bill. And if you have just a few representatives from New York, New Jersey, Chicago area, LA, California, higher tax states. That's enough to derail the bill. So it's you've probably seen articles about that. So I just wanted to kind of explain to you what they're talking about when they're talking, and really, I mean, it, like I said, it's really irrelevant for most of us because of the doubling of the standard deduction. However, if in later iterations of this bill, they do kind of repeal the Tax Cut and Jobs Act standard deduction, the way it is now, and bring it back to pre-2018 levels, then it becomes an issue for many, many more of us. So just want to give you a heads up on this issue, so you can be informed. And otherwise, fairly quiet day. We've got, what, 2 more days until the unemployment first claims report usually comes out. The one that comes out before the monthly jobless claims report is pretty important. So look for a little more action later in the week. And of course, Friday is the all-important unemployment report, and we'll see how many jobs were created. So anyway, somebody actually saw this video and commented, give me a thumbs up on it or whatever, and I just want to say thank you. I'm still in the early stages of this, and so I'll people who know me know I don't get too big for everything. So even if I get to the point where I do have like 1 million followers, I don't think I will, but even if I did, I would still consider it an honor for each and every one of you to follow me. So I'm not going to let it get to my head. So anyway, y'all have a good day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care all. Bye-bye.